old eyes.
Welcome to Park Tudor School in this presentation of IHSAA football on IndianaSRN. Tonight's matchup features two independent squads, the Park Tudor Panthers and the Covenant Christian Warriors. Hello, everyone. Alongside my broadcast partner, Craig Cox, my name is Joey Lindstrom. Tonight's matchup features teams with the same record at 5-2. And Craig, both these squads ready to go to show off their stuff. Coach Spencer Somerville honored as the Booster Club Coach of the Year prior to the game. He has led this team to a 5-2 record, their best record in over 10 years. And he has a 12-14 record looking for his 13th win. He's going to take on Coach Cottle from Covenant Christian, leading his team after a state run last year to a 5-2 record at this point. We'll talk about these kids specifically as we go on, but what are you? Couple things you're looking for as we start the matchup tonight?
Well, I mean, you got two teams that are coming in here that are mirroring each other, not only by records, but a lot of what they do on both sides of the ball. Anticipating a great game here on 71st Street, and it's time to get it underway. But we're excited to bring it to you.
Number 15, Luke Munoz is kicking off. And back deep to receive is C.J. Thompson, but taking himself is Caden Whitehead up the middle. And he will be brought down at the 31-yard line. And Park Tudor will begin their possession. So let's get right into it. Craig, DJ Gordon, last year a freshman, made a lot of freshman-like mistakes, but now as a sophomore it feels like he's playing like a veteran, like he's been here for a long time, and he's a monster.
He is. I'll tell you, this kid is built, and not only can do things out of the air, but certainly he is special with his feet and getting out of the pocket. Probably their best runner on the team, and to be a sophomore leading this team, it's exciting. Even with Coach Somerville and his staff to have him for 3 more years.
He said it, just a sophomore, sending his man in motion. 2 backs in the backfield, handing off to Harris up the middle, and he will be dragged down the better part of a 3-yard gain. Yeah, you said it. DJ Gordon, 55 of 83, 935 yards through the air. That's 66%. He's got 15 touchdowns passing the ball, only 2 picks, 422 yards rushing, and 7 touchdowns on the ground.
Yeah, he's putting up 250-plus on all-purpose yards. And the great thing about it is it's almost a 3-4-headed monster with both Whitehead, Thompson, Harris, and then himself with Gordon.
Going to be a false start here. He had Harris in motion. I think play clock was starting to wind down.
You know, another thing, too, you talk about Joey, and Coach Somerville talked about this. You know, he's got a special situation, and being a 1A team and not only having his numbers and growing to 38, but you look at some of these guys on the rosters. I mean, he's got 3 or 4 guys that's over 6'3", one's even 6'6". They got a couple 300-pound guys. It's just, usually unfamiliar territory for 1A programs.
Yeah, where do they get these kids?
Yeah, exactly.
The parents are obviously feeding them well. Drinking their
these teams in terms of really playing complementary football, but you're talking about just a lot of weapons that the Panthers have on this side of the ball. We'll speak a little bit more defensively, but the thing is, he gets out of the pocket. You know, he probably throws about as well, Gordon, that is, on the run as he does just stepping into it.
Not only that, they're awfully balanced too. 173 yards a game through the air, 155 on the ground. Nice juke move by Caden Whitehead, and he will take it for about a 6.5-yard gain, almost to the 50-yard line.
Yeah, a little speed cut there, get to the outside, and, that's what the Panthers are really trying to do is get them to the outside, use their athleticism. Got a few linemen pulling out here as well, but there was a good pursuit there and keeping him from getting the first down. We'll see what they do here on second.
Gordon with right, hits Harris. Enough for the first down and a little bit more. Down inside the 10 is Harris and Park Tudor.
Yeah, it's the second time they've connected there. Again, throws a nice ball. And to be, again, as we've mentioned, only being a sophomore, just showing some great chemistry and poise at that.
Gordon, strong eye in the pistol. Hands off to Whitehead. Up the middle, Whitehead carrying bodies, and he will not be in to the red, short of the goal line. But they're going to hurry up here.
Yeah, talking about pace.
Gordon heading under center. Have to imagine it was going to be a QB sneak. Did he get across the line? Doesn't look like he did. Yep, no. He gets stymied. Good defensive stand by Covenant Christian on second down. And good recognition, too, Craig. I mean, QB sneak had to be what they maybe predicted was coming, but you never know.
Well, and the Warriors had the box kind of stacked. Panthers didn't spread them out at all. And a lot of times we're going that hurry up. A lot of times that's what it's going to be, especially when you have just third and short like this and getting a strong push. Wouldn't be surprised if you might see them spread them out a little bit more, but still to run the ball.
I agree. I feel like you have to punch the ball, send a statement right in the beginning of the game. The middle, it's Whitehead again. This time he will hit pay dirt or Willie.
I think they got him marked short again. Wow.
They did. They did mark him short. Now we'll see if Coach Somerville elects to keep going. It looks like he's going to keep his guys out there on the 2-centimeter line.
Well, I'm certainly running behind Rylan Watkins.
DJ Gordon keeps it himself, and he's in. Touchdown, Panthers.
Oh, who didn't say fourth time in the charm?
That's right, DJ Gordon from a half yard out. Makes it 6-0, Panthers. Huge touchdown for Park Tudor on their first drive as well, Craig.
No, and you got to like that. I mean, in terms of you take the ball first, you don't defer, then you got to make a statement right there. And I think a lot of times when you make that call, you have a lot of confidence in what you can do to start the game and kind of set the tone, if you will. Did a great job of finding some good balance with the pass and the run here to get it down. Probably took a little bit more than we want trying to get on fourth down, but great stand there by Covenant until that point, and for Park Tudor to punch it in.
Well, it's obviously not ideal if you can't punch it in the first 3 times, but as long as you get on the last one, that's all that matters, right?
Absolutely. 4 downs in football.
Truer words have never been spoken. Gotta love the pink that Park Tudor is sporting tonight in honor and support of breast cancer awareness. Park Tudor wearing the pink Panther logo on their helmet, on the left side of their helmet, the regular PT on the right. As it appears on your screen, probably a little more pink. And we were kind of saying with the lights, it sort of shines pink, but I think those numbers are red.
Yeah, they are, and even the stripes on the pants do look pink in a lot of ways. But yeah, it's great to see, a lot of these schools, regardless of sport, how they come alongside with different special causes, whether it be cancer or regardless what it might be, in terms of just supporting and growing awareness, not only throughout our community, but certainly throughout the country as well.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Not only that, I mean, it's also got to be very cool for these kids to have a football program that they're invested in, and it keeps growing. You have a new athletic complex coming in. Now all of a sudden you're getting cool uniforms like this and being able to support a good cause. Lambert on to kick. He averages about 30 every kickoff. This one will trickle out of bounds, and it'll be an illegal procedure. So Covenant will handle some nice field position to start their first drive.
Yeah, and certainly here, Joey, we talk about, the Covenant side offensively. They're led certainly by Tony Flatt, the quarterback, and also one of their leading tacklers as well at the linebacker spot. But you also have his backfield of John Neighbors, who comes in averaging just 120-plus per game with 14 touchdowns. Coach was talking about how he's just an unbelievable workhorse in the weight room. Last week, coming off 190 yards last week, and got a lot of that on one carry because it was 96-yard run.
96-yard, yep. Uh-huh.
So we'll see what they do here, looking to answer what the Panthers brought in the first drive.
Bit of an option play here.
Oh,
that
fumbled.
ball's out.
Park Tudor got it.
Park Tudor did recover it. What a play. That is their 9th forced fumble. Excuse me, their 14th forced fumble, but their 9th recovery on the season. This defense early hitting Tony flat. I think he was trying to pitch it out to Neighbors, if I'm not mistaken, Craig. But regardless, not a good turnover, and Park Tudor's going to have the ball at the 29-yard line in great field position.
No, it is, and certainly on the Covenant side, not a way that you want to start any game or any possession in a turnover, but certainly the first play that you get. So put your defense at a tough position after just spending so much time on the field after that, what was a longer first drive for Park Tudor. Now here they are back on the field, but I'm sure Coach Cottle will get his guys together and have a better one here on the second attempt.
Well, just as Coach Cottle mentioned when we talked to him, they were down to Heritage Christian bad, and then they end up coming back, which was great. You show the fight. Quick double pass here. That is a backwards pass.
You're going to give it right back.
I can't believe it. Caden Whitehead was looking for DJ Gordon. They're going to call this a forward pass. What a dramatic turn of events that would have been.
I'm not certain how that might have been forward.
To me, it looked like it was at the line of scrimmage. Wow. Obviously, the Covenant faithful unhappy, but Park Tudor fans are fine with it, of course.
Absolutely, and that's why they're wearing the stripes, and we're up here on the headsets.
That's right. We can contend all we want.
And not to say, it's getting a little darker out here, and I got old eyes, so sure they knew it better than we did.
I gotcha. What are partners for, right?
Yeah, it would have been interesting to have two plays with two teams having the ball.
Yeah, it would have. Gordon trips to his right.
Yeah, they're going to get him there.
Going to have a flag here. Delay of game on Park Tudor.
Why we're going to this, too.
Actually,
just
a false start.
Oh, yeah, it is.
I'm mistaken. I thought the play clock had run out as well.
As we're marking this off, too, certainly shout out to Coach Somerville and his staff. It was mentioned before the game, how just in 3 years, how he's turned the program around. Went from having 18 players to 36 now, and how they're 5-2, and just really reboosted the program.
Gordon, long ball, deep shot. Harris through his fingertips.
Yeah, what I like really about that pass there by Gordon, though, is he not only put it right where he needed to, and hoping that that CJ could have made that play, but he put it out of reach of the defense, and that's what you want in a quarterback is not allowing those corners and those safeties to be able to make a run or a play on the ball.
Certainly, both Harris and Gordon would both like to have that one back. Jonathan Zardi has a catch today.
Yeah, it was Thompson there, I think. He's gotten one, and I think Harris has I think he's got two, if I'm not mistaken. That whistles again here.
Another false start incoming, I believe. This time it is a delay of game. So another 5-yard pushback for Park Tudor, 3rd and 20. It's their third penalty of the day. Obviously, the penalty that kept their last drive alive was a pass interference. Here's DJ Gordon. Another beautiful ball. That one to Thompson. That'll be marked out of bounds, and on will come the punting unit for Park Tudor.
Well, Coach Somerville and the staff aren't being shy to let them know that we're going to the air. It's probably about the 7th or 8th pass that we've already seen from DJ at this point.
And, I mean, the live arm that he has is unprecedented.
Yeah, and I was down there on the field before the game, too, and this kid's built. I mean, he's not a real big kid in terms of height. He's right there 5'11" or so, but he's right at 200. I mean, he's solid, really big down low as well, but very athletic. And, again, he's got him for a couple more years, so looks like we got Tyndall back here to receive.
Lambert on the punt. He's got 3 punts inside the 10.
Wow.
What a play by Park Tudor. Downing it inside. Looks like right at the 1. That was number 25, Keegan Thomas.
Had a little Pat McAfee antics after his kick there, too. Down at the 1. Great job.
Great job by Lambert.
Number 25, Keegan Micah.
Well, I'll tell you, for Covenant to have the one play of the first possession they had with the fumble. Now on their second possession here, and you're starting from your inside your 1. A little tough one to answer to go 99, but we'll see if they can do it here to answer back to even up this score.
Well, you said it before, Craig. Neighbors had a 96-yard rush
99.
last week. Maybe he wants to make it 99. Tony Flatt in the pistol.
Yep.
This will not help Park Tudor's case for a safety jumping off sides. Well, Tony Flatt, 69 of 110, 1,300, over 1,300 yards, almost 1,400 actually, 12 touchdowns, 229 yards per game. He's got just one interception on the year, and he also does it on the ground. 32 carries, 56 yards, 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, if you can get him flushed out of the pocket, he can make some plays for you on the edge as well.
Neighbors. Right side, he's got some space. There is a flag down,
again.
But he does get the first down. About a 6-yard gain for John Neighbors.
There's been a lot of stoppage to this point with a lot of laundry on the field, and certainly neither coach wants to see that. You're always going to have it, in any level of football, but certainly here at the high school level, you're going to see it probably a bit more. But there's been a lot early on, about 3/4 of the way through the quarter here, and it's probably about the 6th or 7th penalty that we've seen already.
4:53 to go in the first quarter. Covenant Christian gets dragged all the way back to the 3-yard line. Park Tudor showing blitz. Another flag, astoundingly.
Keep going this rate. We might not be done in about 10:30.
I don't know. I guess not. Yep, this one's a neutral zone infraction. So now Covenant, it's a little game of tug of war, just a little bit. They'll take it at the 8-yard line, trying to find a way to get out of their own zone. Flat drops back. Going over the middle, trying to find Buckley, but nobody home. He overthrew him. Buckley was pleading for some contact. Won't find a flag.
Yeah, and Buckley's a guy, again, just like Rick Plogel, that, became eligible, had to get their number of practices in. It was the 2nd or 3rd game, and he's a great player on the basketball floor as well. Great body, 6'3", 6'4", wide receiver, is obviously leading them, coming in with almost 93 yards per game. And nice thing is he's averaging 26 yards per catch, which is really, really nice.
Here's Neighbors. Gets the first down. That's all Covenant can ask for after that weird series of plays.
No, absolutely. And this is one, too, that, you just want to get moving your chains first time of the game for the Warriors here to try to get in some type of rhythm and sync. And just playing complementary football like we talked about before is what they'll need in terms of trying to balance and neutralize what Park Tudor can bring from the offensive side of the ball.
Buckley and Tyndall split out to the bottom of your screen.
He's going to get it again.
This is going to be another encroachment from Park Tudor. They got to clean up the penalties.
Well, and the good thing was even though he got the encroachment, Buckley even jumped too, but it just happened to be after the encroachment for the Panthers.
Well, this defense with already a forced fumble. They're 14th on the year. They have 9 interceptions. Aaron Roach leads the way as far as tackles go. He total tackles, solo plus assisted, 72 on the year. There's Neighbors. Working the left side, makes one man fall down and gets the first down.
Well, great job there, and that's what John will get to you. And in terms of getting to that edge, he's not only a good downhill runner, but he's one that can really get you with finesse on the outside edge too. He's got pretty good speed, but he's just really, really strong. And the thing that you'll see throughout the evening here is he does a great job of getting yards after contact and really falling forward for positive yards.
Flat drops back. Quick throw out to the right side. That is Tyndall. He'll lower the shoulder, get a few more yards, and I think he's going to be well short of the first down. They're going to mark him out for just a 6-yard gain.
Yeah, and Gavin's a guy that he's very versatile. He's big in their return game on both punt and kick, always wide receiver. But Coach, what he talked about in our preview call was he is a great route runner and just a guy that is by far the best player on their team in terms of getting lead blocks, a lot of pancake blocks for others to get involved.
Passing here is Flat. Climbing the pocket. He's going to be stripped again. Flag down on the field. Trying to see who punched that one out.
They're picking up the flag.
They sure are. Park Tudor's going to take this one.
Yeah, it looked like it was the corner that did that. It's kind of hard to see because you got the dark numbers on the dark juniors.
Caleb Strong-Jones, I think. He came up fiery. It looked like he was the one that probably poked that one out. And you're right. He did come up and Peanut Tillman the ball out of there. So that's 2 fumbles for Tony Flat.
Well, and it's thanks to, probably couldn't start any more different than what the coaching staff and these Warrior fans certainly would want, and definitely the players. But we're still a very manageable game. A lot of football left. It's still a one-possession game. Just got to do a good job of really holding tight here and keeping them contained and neutralizing these athletes.
Handoff. Thompson, right side. He'll slide down.
And guess what? Something more yellow out on it. It's like holding.
Tackle by Tyndall. Yep. Looks like this one's going to be coming back.
Holding on the Panthers.
Oh, Park Tudor and Covenant Christian both in sectional 46. I talked about it before the game. Covenant ranked 6th in the media poll, 5th in the coaches poll, and 4th in the most important poll, IndianaSRN's poll.
Well, the nice thing is, too, you're getting a sectional foe that you could potentially be seeing in postseason, which is nice, and certainly you're 2 weeks away from the opening of that with the draw on Sunday.
That's going to be big. DJ Gordon, quick pass. Right side, that is complete to number 10, Charlie Perrine.
Charlie Perrine on the reception.
Yeah, and Charlie's another one. His name might not be as mentioned as much as when you hear, the Thompsons and the Gordons and the Whiteheads. But right after those 3, this is the young man that you're going to hear the most of after that, and a lot of times. But he's a guy that's also averaging almost 20 yards a catch. He's got 5 scores and 300 yards receiving. So certainly another weapon for this Panther offense.
He certainly is. They're loaded everywhere. Gordon escapes. He's got to make a man miss. He does make one. Gordon, left side. Gordon, touchdown! DJ Gordon is that dude. And Park Tudor takes a 2-touchdown lead.
Well, there's what we talk about. We saw on the first possession how didn't have a lot of completions, but you saw his ability to throw the ball even though they were incomplete. And then here's a perfect example where he dropped back to pass, and they flushed him out of the pocket, and the wheels just keep on turning.
32-yard rushing score. Scamper escapes from the pocket. What a run. Coach Somerville is going to take a timeout here. Get some discussion. We're going to take a quick break with him. You're watching IHSAA football on IndianaSRN.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment. your hometown John Deere dealer today at rentalsfarmequipment.com.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. 13-zip our score in favor of the Panthers after a 32-yard scramble touchdown by DJ Gordon.
I tell you, this is, I know I've already said it a couple times, but how exciting this has got to be, and not to focus just on one player by any means, but I remember this Park Tudor program just a couple years ago, and there was a lot of decline in the program. Kids were still fighting and doing what they could to keep the program afloat, but they got down to like 16 players, and the special things that are going on over here on 71st and College with Coach Somerville and these kids has to be talked about and recognized with the special athletes that they have. And looks like they're going for 2 here.
They are going to go for 2. Gordon with a middle. He's got his receiver, C.J. Thompson. And it's going to be 15-0.
Well, just a basic slant route here. Made a great move and getting him to bite to the outside. And DJ put a great job. Put a pretty ball there, but easy one for catch for CJ.
Yeah, easy slant there. And you mentioned it too. I wanted to expound on that. This program developing. I mean, last year that they win 4 straight to open the year, they lose 4 straight to finish the year, and they lose to this Covenant squad in the playoffs. And obviously, Covenant went on to go undefeated, win state, and now it kind of seems like the tables are turning a little bit. Park Tudor sort of on the prowl now.
No, they are, and it's not just the numbers we just spoke about, but again, and the athletes that they have. But the thing I'll tell you, being down on the field before, you can just sense it as a former coach. Seeing these kids' camaraderie and the chemistry that they've created, the buy-in and how they're loving on each other was really a neat thing to see in the pregame, and just going through with their stretching and just their things that they were kicking off before, just going through the skeletons and the drills before was really impressive. And then to see the athletes and the skill at the skilled positions that we see at 1A and the size is kind of a rarity.
Yeah.
At this level.
And you don't see it often at all. Returning this one is Tyndall. He's going to try to find some space on the left side, and he'll fall down just short of the 30, call it the 28.
Yeah, and then you talk about the Covenant side. Probably couldn't have started off any more different than what the staff would have wanted. Game is still manageable, as we mentioned before. Coach Cottle and his guys, they got to be able to try to make something happen here before the game possibly could get a little bit further out of control. But if they can get something here, they're right back into this game, especially knowing that, we're getting ready to close the first quarter, but they also get the ball to start the second half.
Just under 90 seconds to play in the first quarter. Tony Flatt, 1 for 1 so far, 6 yards through the air. He's got 2 fumbles. Handoff to Neighbors. And he will get about 3. We talked to Coach Cottle yesterday, Craig, and he said the attitude for Park Tudor is, as far as defense goes, you always like when teams have one guy that you have to worry about. Well, they have 3 guys you have to worry about. Yeah. Gordon, Whitehead, and Thompson, right? And now offensively, their defense isn't as scary as their offense might seem. So it's just a matter of not keeping up, but really just getting ahead, and they haven't been able to so far.
No, absolutely. And he talked about, the biggest key to the game for them is just do your job. Being in position gap penetration, even though they're on the offensive side of the ball now. But they got to be able to try to match some of what Park Tudor's been able to show them so far.
Over to the left side. Tyndall almost had it. That one falls through his hands. Well, it's 3rd down.
And I think, too, you've seen it early on, is they're really stacking the box quite a bit, understanding the weapon that not only Neighbors presents, but it almost appears, not to say that this is the approach, but from the booth here, early on it's appeared that they're willing to have Flatt try to beat them with his arm because he's one that can beat you outside, and Neighbors is such a special back, and they've been stacking a lot more, really sustaining and keeping things underneath.
Flatt Handoff to Neighbors on the right side. Neighbors trying to find some space. Man, Park Tudor being gap sound. Tackling him well short of the sticks. This will be 4th and 4, maybe 5.
You're on the other side of the 50. Maybe it's 4 down territory, but not when you're in your own at your 35.
Yeah, they're going to send out Harrison Laurie. He's got 11 punts, 240 yards, just averaging 21 yards per punt. So he needs a big boot here as we wind down the first quarter. So we'll get to see his punt as we open the second. Thanks so much for being with us. Park Tudor leads 15-0 at the end of the first. You're watching IHSAA football on IndianaSRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Park Tudor leads 15-0 thanks to the efforts of 2 rushing touchdowns by quarterback DJ Gordon. And now Covenant Christian being stopped for the 3rd time in a row, but this time not a turnover. They just get stopped on 3rd down. You get to see Laurie punt. Back deep for Park Tudor is Harris.
And he's one that can make some things happen, too. We've already seen him on a couple.
Fake to Tony Flatt. Flatt's got the left side and the first down. What a play from the Warriors. A little bit of trickeration from Cottle.
What a call you get in those positions there. You got to give your credit to Coach Cottle and the call there, being so deep in your own territory, being at the 34, I believe it was, and you're down 2 scores. If you don't get that, you're giving a team that's really shown a lot of great things offensively to punch it and start to put this game not out of reach, but beginning to be. And what a gutsy call there, and great job by Tony in converting that. Very gritty play, and I thought something was fishy with him being the personal protector back there. I don't know. That's just me, though. Flatt will hand off to Neighbors. Another fumble. Flatt does recover it, though. Whoa, man. After you get that 4th down conversion, that was almost an oops. Well, and the thing is that you start to begin to think, and you hope this is certainly not the case, but, these are young men playing this game as you start thinking about the psyche, when you're having, 2 fumbles on your first 3 plays, then you're having to convert a fake 4th down to convert it, and then now here another one that they got back. So you're wondering how much that's still playing in the mindset of these young student athletes and trying to get over that and just relax with poise and do what they do. Flatt trying to make something happen. He's going to be brought down. On the sack was Roach. Aaron Roach gets his 2nd sack of the season. Well, and he's one too. He's their middle linebacker, so he's their leading tackler. So I'm sure we'll continue to hear his name called tonight. He's a 6-foot senior, 190 pounds, but really one that Coach Somerville was talking about. Actually, his brother was talking about before the game about how he's one that really brings the wood for this defense. And you need to have that out of your Mike linebacker too, right? Yeah. I mean, that's here he's trying to show blitz here too. Authority spot. Here's Tony Flatt. Steps up in the pocket. He wanted one, but he's not going to get it. Brought down by big number 52, Bryson Hobbs. He might be hurt too. His helmet came off, and then he took a hit on his way down with the helmet off. I hope he's okay. I hope that's okay. All right. We'll take a
quick second to step away as they address Tony Flatt's injury. Watching IHSAA football on IndianaSRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Stepped away here, so Tony Flatt could be assessed for injury, and now Laurie is on a punt. No trickeration this time. This one's a dribbler. Gets into Park Tudor territory, past the 40, and will be down at the 38-yard line. So unfortunately, Craig, for Covenant Christian, after the fake punt, a successful one at that, they go 3 and out after 2 sacks by Park Tudor, and that's big for this defense because that just does gives all sorts of momentum to your offense when you come back out.
It is, and I think Tony tonight it's probably going to be a little bit different. He's probably not seen the athletes in the schedule that they've played to this point. Maybe a little bit of Heritage, but probably even more so Speedway than Heritage. But in terms of the number of athletes and the quickness, he's going to have to realize that if he has to step up in the pocket or he's got to be thinking about getting rid of that ball within a couple seconds. If not, he's going to have to use his feet tonight probably a little bit more than usual.
Well, let's see what DJ Gordon and the Panthers have in store then. A little bit of a miscommunication on the mesh. Caden Whitehead's going to take this one. Makes a one-man miss. Makes something out of nothing, really.
Yeah, I was going to say that looked like about potentially a 3-yard loss with a little bit of bad exchange there, bumped into each other, and what was a 3-yard loss turned into about a 6-yard gain. So that was a great job with the footwork and even tiptoeing here on the sideline to make it a couple more.
Good work by Whitehead, who's got 358 yards on the year coming into this game, 7 touchdowns, about 6.5 yards per carry. Another bad exchange, this time on the snap, and Gordon, what a hustle play to recover that one.
Yeah,
seen not a lot of ball security, not a good ball security today.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that was a great opportunity for Covenant. Just didn't quite see it as quickly as it ended up jumping on top of the helmet of Caden Whitehead there, and that DJ did a great job of pursuing that. Dropped him back a few more yards, but still manageable here on 3rd down.
Well, after some explosive offense from this squad,
I would.
This second quarter has seen two bad exchanges, center to QB.
Wouldn't be surprised here to see, you probably maybe not to see a play action, but I was going to say definitely some type of pass and look for something over the middle here.
Gordon, quick pass. That one's intercepted. Tyndall takes it all the way down to the 33-yard line of Park Tudor.
Again, he kind of had miscommunication there. It looked like DJ thought he was running more of a slant, and the receiver was running a little bit more of an out route. So it was one that was kind of a gift and one that Covenant had to make there. Did a good job of stepping up, jumping that a little bit, and giving them some positive play. And again, Joey, we talk about this. I mean, as much as it's been all Park Tudor, here we are almost halfway through the second quarter now, and as much as it's been down for Covenant, they get a score here, and it's a one-possession game, and they get the ball to start the second half.
Well, that's huge for the Warriors, just like you said. See what they can do here. Bad center exchange. Tyndall is in at quarterback. Neighbors picks it up. And after a couple broken tackles in the backfield, he'll lose about 4, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that's a situation that, again, as much as we just talked about here prior to the play about that and being positive, but again, at the same time, they got to take those types of situations where they're taking turnovers and turning them into points.
Well, we certainly didn't expect the quarterback change. Obviously hope Tony Flatt's okay, but Tyndall is in there. We don't have any stats for him as far as passing goes. But at this point, Craig, it's just got to be about managing the offense.
It does, and I'm sure that you're even going to see, as much as we thought that they were stacking a little bit of box before, you know, I'm sure that they're going to be even doing it more now. Like you say, we don't have a lot of meat and potatoes with what Gavin Tyndall's been able to do from the pocket because he's always lined up outside as a receiver. But I think at the same time, you know, he's a good athlete, and he's there for a reason. So I'm sure that Coach has confidence in him getting the job done. So we're going to get a timeout here by the Warriors.
Timeout here. We will take one as well. You're watching Park Tudor and Covenant Christian on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that fuels your passion for sports and physical activity. IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences offers that and more. You'll have insider access to sports, fitness, and exercise science professionals and learn from faculty with years of industry experience. And with Indy as your classroom, you'll study next to world-class sports facilities, Olympic governing bodies, the NCAA, and the Indianapolis Motor Speedway. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sports industry career. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. So it looks like Tony Flatt is back in. We did get a stat correction. Gavin Tyndall 1 for 4 for 19 yards when he's coming at QB. But good to see Tony back in there. He'll drop back. Wasting no time. Going to launch this one deep. He's got Buckley, and Buckley's going to waltz into the end zone for a touchdown.
Well, game changer just like that. You know, as a corner, you got to keep him sustained, keep him underneath. You let him get vertical on the backside of you. We get in a position where we're getting something deep here, and Covenant just put themselves right back into the play with one.
Huge play all the way to Brock Buckley.
Oh, good. So we're in a position again. He's just getting behind the DB, getting vertical. At that point, it was just Brock making a play. But what a great job! I mean, Tony's first play back into the game after being out for 3, and first play throws a 42-yard bomb, and Buckley brings that in to make this 15-7. Yes, it was. The extra point was good. So
15-7. Brock Buckley's 4th touchdown on the year. We'll be right back. You're watching IHSAA football on IndianaSRN. Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Craig, you have some scores for us.
Yeah, so we Obviously have Traders Point. They're up 7-0 on North Central of Farmersburg. Whiteland's up 17-0 on Plainfield. Owen Valley putting it on Greencastle at 24-3. But even more so, the Marauders, Mount Vernon, putting it all over the Golden Bears of Shelbyville, 36-0 in the second quarter. And then we have Frontier down by 8 to West Central.
Man,
a lot of games
Mount
tonight.
Vernon, man, they're so stout.
Yeah, I'll tell you,
offensively.
Kirshner, left Ben Davis, started, the resurgence of that program now over at Warren Central, but they've picked up right where he brought him to.
Deep kick. Fielding this one is Whitehead. Makes one cut. A beautiful one at that. You're right. Past the 30. Beats the average on his returns of about 27 per.
And that's things right there you just can't teach a great deal. So you have to put the balls in the hands and let him do his work. And a great job of making the defender bite to the outside with that. Just put the foot in the carpet and get north.
Well, let's see what they can do here, Craig. I think you look at this Park Tudor offense, and that last drive was a dud. I mean, they've been doing well throughout, pretty consistent, and now all of a sudden stymied on that last drive.
Yeah, and they're looking to try to get some of this sink back, especially after a Covenant score.
Hand off to Harris up the middle. That'll get him started. Good 4-yard gain by Jonathan.
Yeah, great job here just getting north, trying to get in a position where they get some positive yards. Did a great job of the vision and keeping up field. A lot of times, you see a lot of these young runners dancing around so much, trying to get the highlight film as opposed to just getting downhill when they see that hole.
Gordon with a twin set. Whitehead to his right side. He'll drop back. Quick pass out to the left side. That one is going to be incomplete.
Well, you look at just the expression on DJ's face there. He's already looking here, coming back to Caleb Strong-Jones here, coming back to the huddle. Just trying to get the communication points down. He's tapping him on the shoulder pads, just trying to indicate to him to run the route a little bit differently than what he anticipated. And third down here.
3rd down and 5. This could be huge for Covenant if they get a stop here. Gordon drops back. Got some pressure in his face, and he's going to be brought down by John Neighbors. Who else?
Goes. And we said that at the top of the hour of the game was you're not only going to hear about this young man on the offensive side of the ball, almost at a 1,000-yard rusher, but he brings it on defense as well. Great job in terms of what he does on both sides of the ball. Again, Coach talked about just how he's an unbelievable workhorse in the weight room, but you see it here with that mentality, just coming right up the A gap and getting in position to get to Gordon. And that's what you got to do. Try to put him in positions where he's not ready to make decisions, and it has positive results.
That's Neighbors' 4th sack on the year. Tyndall back deep to return. And Lambert's punt, he averages about 40, and he'll get it almost that on this one with a good Park Tudor roll.
I'll tell you, how the tide could change. I mean, not only with one play and getting the score there where it looked so much, it was all Park Tudor. One play changed that, and now here they get, a 3 and out, get the ball back. And here we're talking 5 minutes to go. We could be in a position where they could potentially tie this game up and get the ball to start the second half.
It was amazing. I mean, Tony Flatt goes off to the sideline. He comes back and launches an absolute rocket to Buckley, who's been his deep threat all year.
Yeah, you're indeed correct.
It's all of a sudden like they just needed that wake-up call. Like, oh, shoot, we got our guy back. Let's go. Neighbors up the middle. There was a stiff arm. Great run by John Neighbors. He just runs angry, Craig.
Yeah, and he runs with a lot of power, and that's a great piece there, Joey. Again, not a guy that you just look like in terms of the height and the weight. And, this is a kid it's just a stout runner and one that's really complete because, like we said, he can get you on the edge, but he can get you on these A-gaps as well right up the seam.
I wrote it down, but I love the way that Coach Cottle talks about his guys. He has nothing but great things to say about all these kids. Another great run by Neighbors. Gets the first down and then some. He'll be brought down to the Park Tudor 39-yard line.
Yeah, 12 on that carry, and that's what he's getting, just moving chains. Great job there, really ball security. You could tell he kind of clinched that up a little high and tight when he's in a position where he's getting ready to get hit. He's tucking that bad boy and really doing a great job of protecting.
They've gone with neighbors twice already, and it's resulted in a first down after 2 plays. Here's Flat, drops back. Looking over the middle to Buckley, and it's going to be picked off. Jonathan Harris got some space on the right side, and Buckley will bring him down right where the line of scrimmage was, the 39-yard line, and Park Tudor will begin their 3rd turnover of the night.
Well, and, it's not what you want. Ball sailed on him a little bit more. He had Buckley wide open. Brock didn't quite make the break as soon as what Tony was wanting or anticipating there, and then ball sailed just a little bit. But you're in a position, too, where that's what you want in your safety and Harris in terms of just playing deep and making plays there, and did a good job on a return. And might add too, Brock did a great job from the weak side of running him down.
Amazingly, Craig, that is Harris's 5th interception on the season.
Yeah, I know. I had him down for 4.
He's been an absolute ball hawk all year. Another penalty. We haven't seen one of these in a while.
Yeah, so many of them are early on, and then it settled down quite a bit. You got position where the Panthers start off here 1st and 5.
Looks like an encroachment on Covenant Christian. We'll move Park Tudor up.
Don't be surprised here if you see something a little vertical by the Panthers.
Gordon, quick screen out to the left side. Thompson's got some space. Thompson makes one man miss. Throws the stiff arm on another, and he's down at the 26-yard line. What a run by C.J. Thompson.
Yeah, you get 29 on the play there by C.J. And, again, these two have been stacking up numbers. Something crazy for the 7 games that we've been in. And I'll tell you, he's quite a load himself, 6'1", 200 pounds, both sides of the ball, but will really hurt you on deep threats.
And he runs very hard and got up a little gimpy on that play. Trainers are helping him out there. Courtney Whitehead on the scene, as well as Sarah Lukin. Gordon, sprint out to the right side. He's got Harris, and Harris will be brought down after a 4-yard gain.
So you're looking to push the pace here as well. Seeing so much more of that in high school football over the last 3 or 4 years, just the no huddle and the hurry up, and it probably plays a whole different factor, at the 1A level where you don't just have the numbers like these other schools that have one-way guys to where it can really take a toll on the defense.
Gordon scrambling. He'll get a couple yards. Yeah, I agree. I mean, eventually when you have all these two-way players, there comes a point, it's a war of attrition. I mean, you just start to lose it. You get fatigued, and that's when mistakes can happen. You don't want that to happen too early.
Yeah, and you got to also think it's not only the stamina, but also the possibilities of injuries, and then
right.
What depth comes into play.
Right.
With that as well. You have some of these, 2, 3, 4, and shoot, these 6A teams have 3 and 4 deep depth charts. 2 deep's about all it goes, and a lot of times with some of these 1A programs.
Gordon, hands off up the middle. Whitehead's got some space, and he's going to walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Panthers.
18 yards like that. It looks like, again, C.J. Thompson still getting attended to over on the sideline by the trainers, still limping a bit. Great job right
Whitehead.
up the crowd.
Good to see this one again. Just gets it right up the middle, Craig. Nobody was home for Covenant Christian either.
Yeah, they had them spread out as well, which opened the seams. And then you got those big boys up front. Got one 320 with Ryan Watkins and Ty Lewis as well as doing their job up front and creating that hole. Certainly just to allow Caden to do his work. So what could have been really something different in terms of Covenant potentially tying this up, and get what they got there in terms of getting the turnover and Park Tudor turning it into something and stretching this lead out.
Well, what a pick by Jonathan Harris. Gets the handoff here, and it will go nowhere on the 2-point conversion. And we'll stay at 21-7. We'll go to break here. You're watching Park Tudor and Covenant Christian on IndianaSRN. Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Never miss a game again. IndianaSRN. We are on YouTube and growing fast on our subscriber count. Please add in. You can see all our games that we broadcast. You can also check out IndianaSRN.org for all our games on demand as well. Park Tudor, after the 65-yard drive, Caden Whitehead from 12 yards out, I believe, 12 yards, walks into the end zone, and Park Tudor takes a 21-7 lead, much to the surprise of Covenant Christian.
Yeah, Covenant still has plenty of time here to answer this back. We'll see what they do here as Tyndall takes the return.
Tyndall looking for some space, stops and then goes again. Tyndall makes one man miss, makes another. Tyndall's got some space, and he'll be brought down past the 40 at the 42-yard line. What a run by Gavin Tyndall.
Great job making some things happen with his feet. A little elusive there and a little surprising because they looked like that the Panthers had really good coverage. Did a few dancing with the stars steps there, and Get North has great field position to start this with 2:50 to go before half.
That must be his elective at school.
There you go. Tell you what, Joe, if they can turn this into some type of score, and certainly a touchdown would be great, and we talked about it a couple times already, they get the ball starts second half. They're still in a decent position here if they can start some of this bleeding.
A lot of time on the clock too, Craig. Tony Flatt will hand off to Neighbors. He was a workhorse in the last drive before the interception was thrown. And he'll just get 1 yard here.
Great pursuit there. Again, Roach coming up along with the lineman there to make something happen.
Park Tudor will stop him for just a 1 yard gain, 1.5. And Tony Flatt lined up in the pistol. Flatt. Quick out to Tyndall. And he'll be stopped. Oh, no, he won't. Puts his foot in the dirt. What a move by Tyndall.
I think they're going to give him this first down. It's awfully close. Looks like it's on the line. Looks like they're going to be able to move the chains. Great job. He had us fooled here, too. Thought that he was not only stopped, but then I was thinking he might have been out of the sideline. Great job by Gavin Tyndall there to make something happen and move these chains. Great effort.
Yeah, great stop-and-go effort by Gavin Tyndall on that one. And that is exactly what Covenant Christian needed.
They do, and I was just going to say, even though I thought it wasn't going to turn into much, Gavin made that, something more than it was. But great job of Tony getting the ball out quick, which is what we talked about earlier, needing to do against this Panther defense.
Hold everything flag here. False start on Covenant Christian. So Covenant Christian walks themselves back. It is going to be 1st and 15. 96 seconds to play in the first half.
Tyndall's on an island down here. See if they might go to him.
Flatt checks down to Neighbors. Neighbors had some space. What a play by Flatt. A 17-yard gain.
Great job there, and you know, John's showing you there that he can do things out of the backfield with the catches as well.
Neighbors will get it on the ground this time. And he'll be pushed out of bounds. I think this was a loss, if not no gain. Looks like no gain, according to the line judge.
Great job there. The corner really extending that play out wide and really staying home there to stretch him for a no gain.
Good crowd here at Park Tudor School. When the football gets better, people tend to want to come watch, obviously. Loyal following forever, so it's good to see. Flat in the pistol. Drops back. He's got pressure, and he falls down again. Hobbs.
I'll tell you, you talk about that as a big boy there. I mean, you're 6'6", 250. Another one we talked about, too, just kind of a rarity in 1A football. And you got to love this, too. A lot of times you'll see the assistants, the coordinators jumping out here. Here you see your head coach, Spencer Summerfield, jumping out there and just really igniting his players and encouraging and really enthused. And you got to love that, certainly, out of your head coach.
Well, that's special, too, because the amount of excitement you have. I mean, there's a clip of Bill Belichick that was going around a few weeks ago of when he was teaching his guys how to celebrate, right? I mean, because they weren't doing it well enough. Like
right.
He said, you guys, as serious as he is, he also wants to see his guys get up, and I think that's sort of the message, too. Spencer Somerville carries himself very seriously, but he wants his boys to have fun. That's what it's all about.
No, absolutely. And, you can't get these times back. You can tell that he's got a great bond and relationship with his players. You can just see that in the pregame and the little things like that, too. Just shows the culture and the program that he's creating here.
Coach Cottle he expounded on that last night, too, bringing passion in that fire as well. I mean, his guys get up for all their accomplishments and bringing that juice every day like they didn't used to before. And in his second year, now after an undefeated season, face a couple of losses, face some adversity, you have to kind of bring that passion, don't you think?
No, without question. And I think that, he talked about, too, that there's three teams that they're all important. But if you had to look at their schedule, the three were Speedway, Heritage, and Park Tudor.
Right.
And they lost the first two with Speedway and Heritage, and now here tonight seeing what they'll do with the Panthers at Park Tudor.
Flat, drops back. Another interception. Returning it fast as ever is Thompson. And he will be brought down just short of the 50 or at the 50. Huge play for Park Tudor.
Yeah.
What a play by Thompson.
Yeah, again, Tony's just trying to make something again happen. You can't fault him for that. Ball sailed on him a bit more than we would have liked, and DB there was there. Thompson was there to make the play again and got a great return, might add, probably about 30 yards to bring it here to midfield. And, wouldn't count out the Panthers and their offensive arsenal with 50 seconds to go, possibly even getting some more points on the board before heading to the locker room.
Oh, correction. That was actually Caden Whitehead on that return. So he gets the touchdown and then sports his stuff on defense as well. Here's Gordon. The left side to Thompson. Back healthy, and Thompson gets stuck by Gavin Tyndall. Still gains a couple yards, though.
And I'll tell you, you got to love that right there, just a heart, and Coach talked about how he's such a great route runner and blocker, but here he is on the defensive side at 160, being outweighed by 40 pounds, making that tackle.
Gordon, quick pass. And they will take a timeout. Caught by number 14,
looks like
Kason Ritz.
Yeah. And that's actually the fifth receiver that he's completed to tonight now. So great weaponry for DJ.
Well, 20 seconds here, Craig. I'm interested to hear your thoughts. What do you think they have to do here? I mean, do you continue to try to pepper the short ones and then try to either get a field goal or get a long bomb, or you just go for it?
Well, I mean, the thing is the athletes that they have here, they can get you vertical or you can get anything in the flats as well, as special these players are, still making some things happen. And the nice thing is, is I think they have one timeout left, but you can get some things in the flats, let them make some things happen, and use the sideline as your timeouts, and then look to probably get something a little bit more vertical. It's still plenty of time here on the clock if you use your sidelines to get 2, if not even 3 plays.
Well, we'll see what they do here. I mean, you're at 3rd down. Obviously, the priority is probably to get that 1st down. Do you go towards the sideline, you think? Closest near hash sideline?
No, well, without a doubt. I think that if they can use something to the sideline to, again, get the clock stopped, I wouldn't be surprised with that at all. But I also wouldn't be surprised of them hitting the end zone here 1 or 2 plays.
Gordon, quick pass. He does go near side. And what a flip! Caden Whitehead's got it off the lateral, and he'll be out of bounds. Oh, my goodness.
Well, and, interesting enough, that's in their piece because in the Traders Point game, which they won quite marginally, they had one of those go for a score, a hook and ladder. And so here you see it again. That one was a little tighter, though, than the one against Traders Point, but the Traders Point one went for about 45, 50 yards for a score.
Sheesh.
Looked very similar here.
The old hook and ladder gets the clock stopped at 13 seconds. DJ Gordon trips to his right side. He's got Whitehead in the backfield. He'll sprint out to his right. Gordon wants it all. He's going to go to Thompson, and that one falls short.
This is going to come back. I think you're going to get a hold here. Yep.
We sure will. Shaves time off the clock, unfortunately, for Park Tudor.
And you'll see that a lot when the quarterback is getting flushed out of the pocket and getting wide. A lot of times those tackles are trying to protect their quarterback, doing the right thing, and sometimes just get a little bit high on them, and it's going to come back here. I'd certainly look for them to probably go vertical here. I believe they have one more timeout left, but could be wrong on that.
I believe you're right on the one timeout. So Park Tudor will get this one just past the 40, and there'll be an official's timeout for an injury. I believe that is C.J. Thompson. So next week, remaining schedules for both these squads. Park Tudor, after the selection show, will finish up at Edinburgh, fellow sectional opponent. And Company Christian will host Purdue Poly next Friday to round out their season.
Yeah, and you probably like both these teams' chances in those last. I mean, not to downgrade or settle any program by any means, but that's ones that when you look at the board, you feel like both these teams here tonight will win both those two. Edinburgh's having a good year. They're 4-3 now. But you look at that as both these teams getting wins heading into sectional play, which is what you want. You want to try to be playing your best ball. We've got sectional draw on Sunday. These programs will find out who they get in that first round for a quest to try to get downtown to Lucas Oil Stadium.
Oh yeah. And that's a competitive. I mean, 1A has gotten more and more competitive as it's gone along.
It is. I'll tell you, last year's state championship here in the 1A with Covenant was 41-40. It was an incredible game.
Gordon scrambling. He'll take it himself and run out of bounds. But that will round out the end of the half. Park Tudor, 21-7 so far as we do a couple of our our manual stat numbers. Your first impressions of the first half, Craig?
Well, I mean, I think that you saw a little bit more of the game plan that Park Tudor is wanting. I thought they were a little bit more efficient with the balance of what they're doing. I think Covenant struggled early on, obviously with a few early turnovers and had quite a few penalties. Got back to what they do there in the second quarter to still keep this game manageable. Be interesting to see how Coach Cottle gets his guys and bringing them out and see how they respond here in the second half, because they're really in an unfamiliar territory that they've been in this year, not being down. But Park Tudor's done a really good job of using their athletes. I think both teams and coaches certainly want to cut down on a few of the errors that they're having in terms of penalties. But I think you'll see much in the same. I look for Park Tudor probably to try to expose Covenant a little bit more here in the second half and getting down the field.
Well, so far, DJ Gordon, 7-9, 128 pass yards, 2 touchdowns on the ground. Caden Whitehead has a touchdown on the ground as well. Tony Flatt, 4 of 6, 71 yards. an interception, a touchdown, and 2 fumbles for him at the QB spot. So you said it. I mean, both these squads just trying to figure each other out still. 21-7, Park Tudor. And, I mean, you look at this sectional 46, just to briefly talk about it before we go to break. Covenant Christian, Park Tudor lead that way. Lutheran, number 1 in 1A. And then Sheridan, Edinburgh, Lutheran, already mentioned, School of the Deaf, and Tinley. Both teams defeated Tinley earlier this year.
Yeah. No, it's...
We'll take a break for halftime here at Park Tudor School. Our score, 21-7, right here on IndianaSRN. Don't go anywhere. Park Tudor School, Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. And Park Tudor closed the half, trying to get one more score on the board, but our count right now is 21-7. How'd they do it, Craig?
Well, I think a lot of it is what they do in terms of trying to find balance between the run and the pass. I think they were able to take a couple turnovers and turn those into points, which has been a big difference of the game. Things that you won't want to see on your own side of the ball being Covenant. But Park Tudor's done what they've needed to do in terms of that. And it's been, as we talked about, a little uncharted territory for Covenant, as they haven't been down like this throughout this year. And there's 2 solid programs that could very well potentially face each other in sectional play, which we're 1 week away from. And as these teams get loosened up here for the start of the second half, I really look for Park Tudor to probably open things up a little bit more in the passing game, and having DJ get out of the pocket to make things happen with his feet a bit more. You look at the other side of the ball with Covenant, especially first and foremost, you got to cut down the turnovers. You got to be in a position where you're taking away the mental mistakes, taking away to where you're not having the officials grab their hankies and put the laundry on the field. There's been a lot of penalties on the Covenant side, along with the 3 turnovers. I think that they got to get in a position where they're just going to have to get neighbors more involved. I think a little bit more in the short passing game, and then naturally what he does with the run as well.
Well, and 2, they're, in conjunction with that, I mean, they weren't able to get Tony Flatt set really as far as passing goes. Do you think there's more of a strategy in the second half for Coach Cottle to get him maybe well established with some short passes to then throw it deep?
I do, and as we talked about early in the game too, in the second quarter, was more about Tony getting rid of the ball a little quicker than probably what he's normally used to with the athleticism that Park Tudor can provide. So, Tony's a kid too that he can get out of the flat, no pun intended, and make some things happen with his feet too. So I think he's got to have that pocket presence to understand that if he doesn't have his read selected here within the first second and a half too, he's got to get himself out and just try to make something positive happen.
Well, let's hear from one of our sponsors. The IHSAA is working in conjunction with the Indiana Sports Corp and the IFOA for local football officials to recruit and retain football officials in Indiana. Date Friday, December 3rd at 7 p.m. at the Indianapolis Convention Center. If you are interested in becoming an official, you can learn how. From the flag football level to the high school level, you do not need a certification. This is for ages 14 and up. You can become licensed free of charge and receive the official's uniform upon completion, free of charge as well. Learn from current football officials in the business. If you are interested in becoming an official, contact Sandra Walter at the IHSAA office, swalter@ihsaa.org. So we're getting ready for the second half kickoff. Covenant Christian will take it as Park Tudor opened on their first drive, scoring right away. Long 65-yard drive. And one thing you noted, Craig, Caden Whitehead looks to be injured, and I don't know if we'll see him. He has taken off the rest of his uniform, and that hurts because he had one touchdown on the ground and an interception as well.
It did, and actually it was my mistake in saying that earlier, Joey. It's actually C.J. Thompson.
Oh, C.J.
But either way, you're talking about one of your three-headed monster in terms of offensively.
Right.
And, yeah, all his pads are off. He's on the training table. We'll see how that might impact, but it looks like his night might be done.
Well, we hope C.J. is obviously okay. And that's obviously tough to swallow if you're Park Tudor, one of your single best receiver on the year so far. and you lose that chance. Tyndall is going to have to field this one, but he's out of bounds.
He's calling for the flag.
He is, but I don't know if you can.
Oh, he got it.
They do give it to him.
Got to lobby a little bit.
I thought there was something with if you catch it out of bounds, then you kind of assume the possession right there. I don't know.
Well, if you remember, that's how we started off the game on Park Tudor's after their first score on the kickoff. It went out of bounds right about the same area, and Tyndall gets down there, and he's sitting there throwing his hand up in the air, calling for it. And I guess if you lobby long enough, maybe you'll get it. Again, you mentioned the halftime read too. Every game that I have an opportunity to do here with SRN, it's just a great piece that our hats got to go off to our partner IHSAA and Paul Nedig and all that he and Sandra and all the rest of the commissioners and staff are doing with IHSAA, giving not only football on Friday nights, but all of our student athletes and the respective sport programs they have, and getting our kids a chance and opportunity to be on the field. Been tough times. Last year was even tougher, but even this year has its barriers, and it's been great to see what they and the medical staffs, training staffs are doing and giving these kids opportunity to compete.
That sure is. It's a blessing, and these kids wouldn't be able to be as competitive as possible with less officials, so it's huge. Here's Neighbors getting our second half started, and
guess what?
Sort of a motif that was happening in the first half, another flag.
Yeah, these are the types of things that will just, you saw enough of it in the first half. You come out in your first possession and get your first play here and see it again. And it's kind of one of those situations where you see the shoulders drop 2-3 inches because you're taking a big sigh. But they'll get it fixed. But it's just things that, again, just continue to haunt you where you're putting in a position where you had a gain of 5, and now it's turned into minus 15 now.
No, especially after, just like you said, after a gain, the worst thing you can do is be drawn back like that after a holding call. So here we go. Covenant Christian will have it at the 27-yard line. Neighbors again, left side. Gets a block from Buckley, and he'll be brought down at the 34-yard line. Another flag, and this one looks like it's going to be a late hit. Tyndall was being, I think he was wrestling with Whitehead on the outside.
Yeah, it looks like you got about 7 on the play, so if it is. Yeah, it is. You're right, Joey. So this is going to tack on another 15 here, which is obviously something you don't want to see as you had at the first play with Covenant. Now you're seeing it with Park Tudor. Those are things, again, that you just got to try to correct. They're going to happen, but you just want to try to do your best to minimize those.
So an unsportsmanlike conduct is what the call was. Pushes for a first down at the midfield mark for Covenant Christian, and Tony Flatt will line up in the pistol. Drops back. Launches one over the middle. Buckley, but there to defend and deflect that ball. Trying to see the number, a little bit hard to see.
Yeah, it's tough.
That is number 42, William Harris.
Yeah, your young eyes are going to pick those up a whole lot better than me. I got readers on, and if I'm looking up, they don't work too well.
Great play by Harris over the cover 3 soft zone spot, and it'll be 2nd and 10 for Covenant.
Yeah, just important possession here. You come out in the second half here, first possession, you really want to try to establish to this defense what your offense is going to do here.
Flat drops back, steps up in the pocket. He wanted all of it. He's going to throw it, and no receiver in the area.
Might see a flag here.
Looks like we're not going to get one. That'll be a throwaway for Tony Flatt smartly.
Yeah, I liked how Tony stepped up in the pocket there, but it's like we talked about earlier. If you're making your read and you don't see it, I mean, you really got to make that decision. And it's tough when you're there in the pocket, but you got a lot of athletes around you. You don't get that. You really got to just think about positive yards. And when he stepped up there, didn't have it, really would have liked to send him run up the middle to get some just thinking about positive yards.
And they've been able to – they've found it a lot with Neighbors, but unfortunately in the pass game they haven't protected all too well. This pass rush has done well. Tony Flatt zips it out to the right side. On the completion there was Trey Replogle.
Great open field tackle here. It's just Manu right here. Does a great job using great technique. Heads up tackling, made contact with the shoulder, wrapping the arms, forcing a fourth down here. See no punt team, so it looks like the Warriors are going to go for it here on about 4th and 7.
Coach Cottle wants it on this one. They are 0 for 0 on their 4th down opportunities today. But they do have one conversion. They're actually 1 for 1 because they faked a punt in the first half. Flat drops back. Zips over to the right side. It's broken up.
I think, was that Roach?
Flat pass, he batted down, incomplete. Prosecutor will take over on down.
Trying to identify the number, give credit, number 50. That is Tommy Crossan. Beautiful play on the deflection.
Yeah, it was. Great job getting a hand on that ball. Just, again, doing his job, keeping his assignment, and obviously converting that and getting his team off the field. Let his offense do the work. DJ
Gordon with 128 yards through the air. 2 touchdowns on the ground in the first half. Will get his boys going in the second. Handoff up the middle. This is Harris. And just one step away from taking it all the way.
Tell you, this kid, again, we talked about it with a lot of players playing both sides of the ball, but he's had a few catches. He's doing it out of the backfield. He's had an interception. He had 4 coming into this game, Joey, and now 5. That's got to be ranking up there as one of the top in the state with 5 interceptions in 7 games.
At the very least, it's one of the top in Park Tudor's programs through this same amount of games, I got to imagine. Gordon again. Here's Harris. Keep feeding the man. Jonathan Harris. Another touchdown.
36 yards. Making it happen with his feet. I'll tell you what, he moves from receiver and get in a position where C.J. Thompson, as we mentioned earlier at half, has his pads off on the training table, and then you move him from receiver and putting him in the backfield as Thompson's replacement here, so to speak. And all he gives you is 36 and having the fancy feet giving him 6.
2 plays, 48 yards. You said it. Got the fancy feet. 27-7 our score. Park Tudor not wavering from the 2-point attempt strategy. They're going to go for it here. I mean, that was an angry run. Kyle Brandt from Good Morning Football would be pumped up about that one.
That boy's got some speed.
Sure does. All right, trips right for Gordon. He'll take it himself. Gordon, couple men to beat. Shifts his feet, and DJ Gordon's in for a 2-point conversion, 29-7.
And the Warriors did everything they could right there. Flushed him out, got him wide, had two Warriors at him contained. Did one, stuck his right foot in the ground, cut back to the middle, and then hit it to the outside and spun for the stretch for that. So great effort on DJ's part.
48-yard drive results in a score. 29-7 is the count here at Park Tudor School. We'll be right back.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Park Tudor, 29-7. Very unexpected if you were Coach Cottle and Covenant Christian so far, Craig. You got scores for us?
Yeah, they got a few. Actually, one interesting one. The Mount Vernon-Shelbyville game has been called a final because the lights won't come back on.
Kind
of like that,
issue.
But they were up 49-0, so
sounds like we were ready to go for it.
People getting home early.
Tyndall will take this one down to the 24-yard line.
Couple other scores: Owen Valley over Greencastle, 38-10. We got one deadlock with West Central and Frontier at 14 apiece with 6:30 to go in the third. Traders Point has scored again. They're up 13-8 on North Central Farmersburg with a few minutes to go in the third. And Whiteland putting it on Plainfield, 24-0 midway through the third.
Well, there's definitely some magic here at the varsity field of Park Tudor School. They're undefeated at home this year, 4-0. Here's Neighbors. Left side, Neighbors hasn't really been able to get anything going so far today, and Roach will take him down.
No, he hasn't. I'll tell you, this is a guy that's averaging 120-plus per game. The Panthers defense held him to under 50 in the first half, we're early here in the third, but he's had 2 carries for about 8 or 9 yards here. So doing a really good job of containing him. And as we said early on, it was pretty apparent that the Panther defense was going to try to put Flat in a position to make some decisions with his arm, and just hasn't worked to that piece to this point.
See if they can put it together on this drive here. Flat drops back. Over the middle, he's got his man running with the ball here. And out of bounds is number 10, Will Lyons. He's got 4 receptions, 53 yards, and 2 touchdowns. That is his 5th reception on the year.
Yeah, and one that's his first of tonight. So he's a senior. Dad is the assistant coach and was the interim head coach last year that led him to a state championship. So first one for Will here tonight, and one that was needed to move the chains with 20-yard gain.
Flat will drop back. Quick pass out to the left side. That is Replogle, excuse me. He'll gain about 4.
And that's one right there that I really feel that I'd like to see Covenant do a lot more of here with the remainder of the game that we have. And we talked about it earlier about Trey's his brother, about Tony getting that ball out quick. He's in a position where that was evident there, and it got him some great positive yards.
Flat, another quick drop back. He's going to send this one over, but it's going to be picked off.
Guess who?
Harris once again. And he'll be stopped short of the 40 at the 39. No one was looking for Tony Flat's ball. And it gets intercepted.
And his 2nd of the night, 6th of the year. So we talked about just a few possessions ago that, he's probably one of the state leaders. Well, he might be the state leader at this point now. 6 and 7 games is quite impressive at the high school level.
It sure is. Very, very impressive. And he's been, after that angry run for a touchdown.
I was just going to say, Joey.
To respond.
Yeah, that's the same individual we just talked about scampering 36 yards for the score on the other side of the ball. And now he's back in there to try to do it again. So pretty special player in what we have there in Jonathan Harris. And guess what, Joey? He's only a junior, so he's back as well, like DJ Gordon next year.
This team's so young but so talented. It's so awesome to see. Gordon's going to hand it off to Whitehead after one stiff arm. Lowers the shoulder, and he's going to gain about 7 yards, they'll give it.
6 yards.
Yeah, great job getting to the outside, trying to use that sideline, getting nice and wide. Love the feet of all 3 of these guys.
They all bring a little bit something different to the table.
They do, and the thing that we've seen tonight, too, is a few of them are interchangeable. Whether you're trying to line them up out wide or even in the H at the slot or even in the backfield.
Gordon drops back, launches this one deep on the right side, in and out of the hands of number 10, Charlie Perrine.
Yeah, and great throw. I mean, put it in a position just over the shoulder, of his receiver and out of reach of the DB. Well-placed ball, and one that happens one of two things. It's either 6 or it's an incomplete pass, and you're huddling it up to get here on 3rd down.
Third down and 4. And Coach Somerville's got to be happy with the way this team has been clicking. And we haven't seen too much of the defense as this play clock is going to run out, and Park Tudor will take a timeout. We'll keep it here. We haven't seen too much. 10 interceptions for Covenant Christian. We saw Park Tudor fumble earlier. That would have given Covenant their 4th fumble recovery on the year. And it's just, we know they're sound tackling, but we haven't seen them be able to stop the run as much as I think Coach Cottle would like.
No, I think without question. And this is a dual-threat team, and one that you have to really play very honestly. And then when you have a dual-threat quarterback like you do in Gordon that can not only place the ball well but do such great things with his feet, and you mentioned it too earlier, Joey, it's different if you have 1, 2 guys, but not when you have 4 or 5. You just got to play very honest. You can't stack the box. That'll get you vertical. And when you're covering, you got great things that can happen with the feet.
And not to mention, too, I mean, you talk about the type of juice that Coach Cottle wants his guys to bring, and they do bring that. They've been coming out, firing away. It just seems like Park Tudor's had that edge kind of the whole night as far as the energy level brings. And maybe it is because it is Spirit Night. There's a huge crowd here tonight at Park Tudor. The cookout was great, and they're serving hot dogs and hamburgers. Maybe that's what the kids had, and there's just a little bit of extra caffeine or something in the Powerade.
Right.
Who knows? Gordon does draw a player off sides.
And that's where it comes at the worst time when you're at 3rd and 4, and now this is going to give them a 1st down and be in a position where the chains are being moved without even having to run a play. So just been a tough night at this point for Covenant, and still a decent amount of football to play. And you always got to be in a position where you got to understand what the correction is, but you also got to be in a position where you have short-term memory, and it's got to be about the next play and moving on.
Oh, yeah. Want to know every play. Gordon will hand it off this time to number 12. Oh, beg your pardon. That is number 42, Will Harris, who had the nice pass breakup earlier.
Position 2 where you get some of your younger guys. Harris is a sophomore, getting some time, obviously with CJ being out and Harrison maybe getting some blows. You get some extra reps that you otherwise wouldn't get.
Gordon heading out to Harris. He'll be stuck as he tries to catch it, and that ball will fall incomplete.
Yeah, I mean, just something trying to catch him off guard. You haven't seen that a lot tonight. A little out screen here, and I think that's maybe 2nd time, maybe 3rd all night that we've seen that. Trying to catch him off guard, just kind of put it up a little bit too much for him.
3rd and 5 for Park Tudor from the 24-yard line. Gordon in the backfield with Whitehead. They'll hand off to Harris. Harris looking for some space. He found it, and he's going to get a 1st down for Park Tudor.
Yeah, it looks like you got about 7 on that play here. And, the thing about there, Joey, what I loved, you got more, looks like somebody negated by a hold.
Actually, it'll be a block in the back. I think that was 80, number 80, Caleb Strong-Jones.
Yeah.
He was trying to make a big block, good effort, but unfortunately behind.
Yeah, and the play took a little bit of time to develop there. But the thing I was going to say that I really liked about what Harris was doing there was being very patient for his lead blocking. Kind of stuttered a few times and almost came to a stop, just waiting for the play to develop and try to see the seam or the hole that he was wanting to pursue. But as you said, comes back a bit on Jones's hold. Was it a hold or a block in the back?
Block in the back. Yeah, He threw the old palm up.
Tell you, it's an exciting time here on the campus of Park Tudor here, too. They got quite a bit of construction going on with the new athletic center and the new turf field that they put in here this last year, so things are bright here.
That's great. I love it. Gordon scrambling. Taking it himself. He will pop out of bounds at the 26-yard line. It'll be 4th down for Park Tudor. See if they go for it here. I got to imagine they will.
Back. Got a good amount of that back here.
Yep.
Yeah, probably a little bit long for a field goal at this point. You know, so many of these schools now are bringing, you know, players off their soccer teams to just do exclusively kicking for them nowadays as well. But don't know if that's the case here for the Panthers. But no signs of anything here, as you would probably think, being at the 26. But 4th and 6 here. Might look for something here over the middle or having DJ doing something with his feet outside the pocket.
Gordon will drop back quick. He will toss it over to the right side, and diving for the first down is Perrine.
Yeah.
Did he get it?
Yeah.
He sure did. First down for the Panthers. They'll keep this drive going, and we have, unfortunately, an injured player. Looks like a cramp.
Yeah, got Charlie's out there.
We'll take a quick break and step away. You're watching Park Tudor and Covenant Christian on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. The Panthers are driving from the 15-yard line. It is 1st and 10 after the big play to Perrine. Gordon handing off at the middle. And Whitehead will gain 1 yard. Some hard running.
Yeah, I was just getting ready to say it's a bruising run there, and good job of the Warriors' defense there, really penetrating gaps, and tackled by a host of Warriors there and keeping him to a yard, maybe 2 at most.
So it'll be 2nd and 8. Looks like they did get the 2. Gordon. 2 backs in the backfield. Once again, he'll drop back. Looking around, he'll be dropped for a sack.
I got a helmet coming off here. Ethan Sparks getting great penetration there to get DJ for a loss. And helmet came flying off. Didn't quite see what happened, but looked like Charlie Perrine, he'll have to come out of the game, but he was looking at the ref or something.
Looks like that was actually Aaron Roach.
Was it Roach?
Yeah, probably not the guy that you want to rip the helmet off of when you have to see him the next drive.
No.
Leading tackler.
Not at all. Yeah, I couldn't tell if that was 40 or 10, but you're right, Joe. It's 40.
Well, you mentioned it. Ethan Sparks, after talking to Coach Cottle, he has to step up, and that's the challenge that Coach Cottle put in when you lose Eli Carlson up the middle for because of injury. Your big body, and all of a sudden you need to step up a little bit. Good play to stop Jonathan Harris there.
Yeah, it looked like Nolan Jones.
It sure was.
If I was on the tackle, but good job.
So this will be 4th and a country mile for Park Tudor.
Yeah, Covenant said this is one that's almost like one of those, you hate to use these type of terms and vocabulary, but it's almost like a must stop right here. You got them 4th and 15. You got to be in a position, especially when the scores, you're down 3 scores. You got to be in a position where you have to get a stop here.
Right before the play clock runs out, they're going to take a timeout. That's their second of the half. And we'll take one as well. We will be right back here on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Hey, don't miss a game ever again on IndianaSRN. All our games are recorded and brought up to our YouTube page as well as our website, IndianaSRN.org. You can also follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN for all your updates and pre-games. Got some awesome graphics up there for our great graphics personnel. Thanks to Casey Pierce for production tonight. And our cameraman, Ken. Shout out Ken up there. Park Tudor has a 4th and 13 scenario here. Gordon trips to the short hash side. And he'll be brought down.
There's a fumble.
He did lose the ball.
I think he got it.
Won't matter anyway. Covenant gets the ball regardless. Good defensive stand by the Warriors.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, the Warriors, as we just talked about, really needed that. And now they get a stop. That's about as good as getting a turnover. Big thing is here now, though, they got to be converted into points. Without that and almost draining out the third corner, it becomes kind of tough. A couple little other scores. West Central has gone back out in front over Frontier, 22-14 with 9.5 to go. Plainfield down 31-6 to Whiteland. Traders Point, North Central Farmersburg's gone back and forth. Traders was up. North Central answered, and now Traders Point back up 19-14 with 8.5 to go.
All great games, and you can catch them on IndianaSRN.org. And if you can't catch them on the webcast, they're definitely on radio and available to listen. Pass incomplete, skipped from Tony Flatt.
You got to maybe wonder a bit. That's second, if not third, ball that's come up short or kind of sailed, since he went out earlier. So you always wonder if those types of things is still messing with him physically, let alone mentally.
That's one thing Coach Cottle mentioned. His completion percentage has gone up each week because he's getting better at asking himself, what can I take away from the defense, or what are they taking away from me? One thing I kind of noticed here, Craig, is we haven't seen any of Brock Buckley in the second half so far.
Haven't, and that's a great point. They've done a good job sustaining that in a lot of ways, and like we've talked about earlier, I think they're really forcing Tony to do a lot with his arm because they've really put themselves in a position, the Panther defense, in terms of containing John Neighbors out of the backfield.
Well, they defeated Clarksville 42-6 last week. They were scoring touchdowns aplenty. Flat. Over the middle to Neighbors, and he'll be brought down quickly, and this will be a 3-and-out for Covenant Christian if they elect to punt. 4th and 4 for the Warriors, and they will bring out their punt unit, and that's tough after you make a great turnover on down stop.
Yeah.
To go 3-and-out.
Yeah, and it's the right decision in my opinion. I mean, it's still you still got more than a quarter to go. It's still a 3-possession game, which you like to think you might be able to get 3 possessions left, but that means you got to stop Park Tudor on all those and convert yours to make this quality game.
Jonathan Harris back deep to return. He had one return for 12 yards the last half.
Yeah.
Booting this one away, and it'll be a dribbler. Harris has to get out of the way. This will be brought down.
Smart decision.
At the 35-yard line of Park Tudor. So DJ Gordon will set up again. A minute left here in our third quarter. That punt rolled all the way to the 35 from the opposite 25. So a solid 40-yard punt there for Laurie. Good to see more of DJ Gordon here. 29-7 our count at Park Tudor School. Fakes the screen. He's going to take it himself. Makes a nifty little pass.
That's a little bit of
over to Perrine.
Patrick Mahomes there.
It was. Tuck it away, see what happens.
Running and just kind of did a little shot put. But nonetheless, picked him up 5 on that. Those are the types of things, though, you want out of players that you have is things that are broken plays that aren't there and just turning them into something. Those intangibles really pay off at the end of the game and things that you don't see as the game's going on but play a big part.
Gordon hands off to Whitehead. Ducked underneath one tackler, and he'll be brought down by a troop of Warriors. Kalen Hampton on the first initial hit and drag down.
Yeah, good job here keeping them under. Here we're at third down. Get a stop here. Would like to think that Park Tudor might not go for it if they can get them on a tackle for a loss as the clock winds down, heading us into the fourth quarter.
We will take a break here. Fourth quarter action coming up. Do not go anywhere here on IndianaSRN.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. You know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year, all sorts of sports. Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably could help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Coach Cottle giving his team the pep talk they need for what would be a monster fourth quarter. Down 29-7. Park Tudor has controlled this game from the get-go after 2 fumbles straight for Covenant Christian in their first 2 possessions on offense. Park Tudor capitalized on one of those, and then after a punt on Covenant Christian's third possession, Park Tudor went ahead and scored after a long scramble by DJ Gordon. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox, ready for this fourth quarter action with you here on IndianaSRN. So glad you're here with us. Gordon's going to possibly change the play after the hard count. A little bit of a miscommunication. He's going to have to take this one himself. Buckley will drag him out of bounds. There is a flag on the play. Thing we're all too familiar with tonight, Craig.
Yeah, it is. Another holding that we have here. And like you said, Joey, I mean, another instant that's 2 out of the last 3 plays where it's kind of been a broken play, but one that you like even in a young quarterback that you have in DJ Gordon, even with his youthfulness, to be able to see that the play's broken and it's just time to tuck it and try to get positive yards. And could have been for a loss, but he got back to the line of scrimmage, even though it's all pulled off because of the penalty. But things that you like to see in the maturation process of a young quarterback.
Well, he's certainly matured throughout the year. I mean, with I lost my spot. With 15 touchdowns to boot, and then 3 touchdowns last week through the air. I mean, he's a solid man to have at the helm. Tyndall trying to make something happen. He's going to go nowhere on that punt return. But, yeah, last week, DJ Gordon, 5 of 8, 99 yards, 3 touchdowns. Whitehead, 16 carries, 154 yards, 22 yards was his longest, and he had 3 touchdowns as well. But C.J. Thompson caught 3 through the air. Kind of hits you from anywhere, really, and they defeated Phelan Leadership Academy 53-6 last week.
Yeah, and again, it's you hope that as you're heading into sectionals that you're not only battle tested, but it's more your schedule's more probably on the back load than it is the front load. But a lot of these games, though, you get what you get. They're on 2-3-year contracts, and they fall on the schedule the same time of the year every year. So, end of the day, these young men have to go out and play and be ready for sectional play here in a couple weeks.
Flat spits it out to the left side, and that is going to be incomplete. Let's chat about that sectional real quick. I mean, you got these 2 teams. You have Edinburgh, you have Sheridan, you have Indiana School for the Deaf, and Tinley. But then rounding out, you have Lutheran, who obviously is an absolute power, ranked first in 1A, followed by Monroe Central, Adams Central, Covenant Christian, and South Putnam.
Yeah, clearly you got Lutheran is the king of that sectional. I mean, going into it, and you got these 2 teams here that are just behind them. You think back to that sectional last year where you had such a dynamic game in the state. What eventually became your state champs in Covenant, but Lutheran, that game went back and forth, and they answered kind of tit for tat over the last 4 possessions. One of those being into the third quarter, and then the 3 that carried into the third or fourth. And but like these 2 team chances, last year I think Lutheran was heavily favored. I shouldn't say heavily, but was certainly favored with Covenant in that championship, and the Warriors stunned them. But I think either of these 2 teams, and what we've seen tonight in Park Tudor, could certainly present some challenges for Lutheran.
That they could, and I mean, you look at what would be the pairings, I guess, if you had to project both these teams, if they were to get Tinley or anybody else, I mean, they'd probably defeat him. As Tony Flat launches one deep for Tyndall, he's got him. Tyndall makes one-man miss. Dragging defenders as he goes. Tyndall. Gavin's got himself in great position and got his team in even better.
Yeah, 49-yard gain. Those are shots in the arm and what you need for this Warrior offense, and great job of Gavin doing the yaks, as we call the yards after the contacts there, so great job.
Beautiful work by Gavin Tyndall. Great ball by Tony Flat. He'll drop back once again. Hits his check down, Neighbors.
So I pick up maybe about 2 on the spot.
Surprise, surprise. Another flag on the field. We'll get to see what this one is. So a huge 42-yard gain. Flat to Tyndall.
Like they're talking to the Covenant players, so it looks like this might be on the Panthers. Seeking counsel with each other for quite a bit here,
right,
trying to figure this one out.
Deliberating a little bit. Flag is going to be waved, though.
Picking it up.
Well, Neighbors gets a couple-yard gain.
No penalty on the flag.
Actually, he gets no gain on the check down.
It'll be 2nd down, 9 yards to go.
Or call it 1. They can't make up their mind on the spot either. But we appreciate our officials. Regardless, Tony Flat will be in the pistol. Trips left. Drops back. Thought about the screen quickly. He's got some pressure. Tosses it up to Buckley, who's waiting for the ball. And that's a touchdown for the Warriors.
Yeah, great read by Tony there. He wasn't even, I think he was probably his 3rd, because he looked out at the flat first and then looked at his slot receiver. Didn't have anything. Stepped up in the pocket. Panthers got a little bit of some push, if you will. And as he stepped up, he saw Brock out there and just heaved it, and turned out just like it did on their first score as well. That's the same connection in the 2.
Well, Flat goes 2 for 2 on that drive. Finds Buckley for the second time today. And that is Buckley's, his 5th touchdown.
And, Joey, you talk about it's his second catch of the night. They're both for touchdowns.
Right.
And 42 and 25 at that. But great job. I mean, we're here. It's a 2-possession game. We're still have a lot of time up on that clock.
A lot of ball left. 29-14 our score. We'll be right back.
My name is Jay Jones. I'm the commissioner of the Heartland Collegiate Athletic Conference, and we appreciate you tuning in to tonight's game. We hope you'll stay tuned to SRN for tomorrow's Heartland Conference Game of the Week, showcasing some of the best small college football in the Midwest. We look forward to seeing you then.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox for this fourth quarter. 29-14 in favor of the Panthers of Park Tudor after Covenant Christian just scored 25-yard strike from Tony Flatt to Brock Buckley. Big play Buckley. He's got 2 catches for 2 touchdowns today. And wouldn't you know it, obviously Tony Flatt's favorite target, Craig.
No, and it has been, as we talked about at the beginning of the game. He's leading them in receiving, 93 per game, and averaging 26 per catch. And as you talked about, 2 tonight. He's got 67 yards, and so he's up that average, I guess, if you will, a little bit. And might add, he's only played 4 games as well. But great job by Tony of getting his second, if not third, read and seeing him in the end zone to put 6 more up on the board for the Warriors.
And to draw the gap closer. They're going to try to pooch this one. It's caught nicely. That is Perrine on that one. Great heads-up play by the upback. That was my spot on kickoff return in college.
There you go.
Always got to be ready for the sky kicks.
Yeah, and speaking of that, we might add to all our listeners as well. Head coach Spencer Somerville for the Park Tudor Panthers was on the Butler coaching staff when you played.
That's right. That's right. He still holds the record for squat, for the max 1-rep squat for safeties at 655 pounds.
That's incredible. and this is a guy that's only about 5'10".
He was an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Never really got to see him play, but I watched film, obviously, because we would watch old archive tape back in camp. Gordon, hands off to Whitehead, and he'll be brought down. A great play by Trey Replogle.
Yeah, it was. Got no gain on the play. Good job here, forcing second and long. Again, as we talked about, you get a score whenever you want to get a score on one end. You can keep your team to off the scoreboard, or let alone a 3 and out. The pace starts to shift a bit here.
Gordon with a strong eye. Harris to his left, Whitehead behind him. He will give it once again to Whitehead, and same result. Trey Replogle.
Yep. Same play, same carry, same tackle across the board.
What a stop there.
But it's not only no gain, but now it's a loss of 4.
Third and 13.
Setting it up nice. If they can convert this here, force the Panthers to punt, we'll having an interesting final 9 minutes here, Joey. If that's
we sure will. Covenant Christian not going away just yet.
Won't be surprised if we see DJ get out of the pocket here.
Their magic ball was right. He scrambles. He's going to launch this one deep. And right there to try and catch it was Kason Ritz.
And Buckley on the breakup. Guy just scored your touchdown for the Warriors, is now in the defensive backfield making something happen. Kind of different when you can turn around and have a 6'3", 6'4" free safety.
That's right. I mean, it definitely helps. Plays baseball and basketball as well. Played both those sports prior to trying out for football.
He did.
Coaches were obviously happy to have him, and look how the results have turned out.
Indeed. Been new to the football game. Said coach was talking about he hadn't played football since middle school. So here they are to get this back, see if Gavin Tyndall can make something happen here.
Lambert on a punt. This one's going to take a great bounce. Tyndall is flirting with the idea of taking it, but this one's going to take a nice Park Tudor bounce all the way to the 4-yard line.
Yeah, and you could see it on Gavin's face. You know, he wanted to take that, but I really feel like as much as this might not sound good when you get your ball starting at your own 4-yard line, but I really think it was the right thing to do. It's just too much of a gamble to try to take that when they had good coverage down there.
And when you're in that position, too, it's hard to tell where other players are in the vicinity as well, you know?
Yep, great point.
If you're looking up at the ball, can't really decide where it's going to go.
Yeah, sure. And their hands are full here, trying to get a score, get back into this game. But it's stacked high for them when you're 95 yards away.
We had a 96-yard touchdown last week. Neighbors is going to take this one. They'll gain a couple of yards trying to get out of this hole that Lambert dug for them.
Tell you what, we got a crazy game with Traders Point and North Central Farmersburg. They have both answered each other 3 possessions in a row. Farmersburg goes up with 1:08 to go, and now Traders Point has scored again in 40 seconds. There's only 32 seconds left. Traders Point back up 26-22.
And that's the school that you work at.
So that's true. So
you're on the edge of your seat. Flat. That one deflected at the line. No, not today.
Yeah, great frontage presence right there. So much you see that in the college and pros games. Don't see it as much as in high school, as getting the active hands up at the line of scrimmage and batting balls down. Little J.J. Watt.
Love it. Caleb Strong-Jones on that one, deflecting that away.
I hear the Panther crowd, charging hard with the defense chant here as we have 3rd and 8 deep in Warrior territory.
From the 6. Flat. Quick out to Tyndall. Makes one man miss, makes another. Tyndall swerving in and out, gyrating around, and he will get nowhere. It'll be 4th down.
Great effort by Gavin there, just trying to make the extra yards happen. But as we talked about earlier, it's tough when you got multiple defenders there and dancing as much as you are laterally. But give him credit for trying to make something happen and almost turn it in to something. And it looks. Yeah, okay. I was getting ready to say, it's like you're deep in your territory. It's 4th and 5. Didn't see the punter there.
I think Coach Cottle wants to be that confident, but I think it's probably the smart decision to be.
Yeah, and the warning lights probably going off here because Harris is probably licking his chops, getting this probably around the 30-yard line.
This one's going to be a line drive bouncer past midfield, and this actually turns out to be a great punt from Laurie.
And you see Harris staying there with both his hands. Should I or shouldn't I?
One
decide. That he took a great bounce where he could have probably taken that, but those are ones that really get the return game and the return men really happy when they have such a short field like that, and trying to take advantage of those opportunities.
Well, it was a good defensive hold there from Park Tudor after Covenant Christian was sort of flirting with the idea that they might be able to put a big drive together, but you get that huge punt from Lambert to pin him deep at the 4-yard line, and you make a great defensive stop. All of a sudden, you're a couple toe steps away from crossing midfield into the territory of Covenant Christian. Gordon, that snap over his head. He's going to have to dive on it. but the effort there for number 70 for Covenant Christian to dive on it. That's Cole Thomas. And the Warriors get it back.
I'll tell you, DJ Roach reached twice for that. His outstretched hand missed it once and tried to squirm along the ground and missed it again, just inches away. I know that's really hurting him there. But great opportunity there for the Warriors after getting stopped in their own territory. And new life still ahead here with 7 minutes to go, Joey. We've had another game going final. Whiteland 31-6 over Plainfield.
What a sequence here. So Covenant Christian gets a good punt, and then they get a favor with a bad exchange from the QB center. A lot of pressure here for Flatt. He shakes a tackler. Flatt launches one deep. It's almost picked off by Harris and then almost caught by Buckley.
You know, the thing about it is not only it probably should have been interception by Harris, would have been number 3 for the game, but then it came into Buckley's hand, and I really feel like when he got that, he was starting to turn and look for the end zone before he ever possessed the ball.
I think you're right. I think the head turn was starting to go. What a play by Tony Flatt, by the way, to escape the pressure, throw a stiff arm, and launch it. And to have the wherewithal, too, to realize the pressure after the play-action fake. So here we are, 2nd and 10, Craig.
Yeah, and Covenant really needs to – they got to be able to convert this into some points here with under 7 minutes to go and down 2 scores.
Flat hands to Neighbors. Neighbors has some space, and he'll get the first down.
Well, scores got to start with moving chains, and that's what John Neighbors just did here.
12 yards on the carry. Chains will move. Clock will wind. 6:45 to go here at Park Tudor. Covenant Christian with a chance here to get within 1 score, barring a 2-point conversion. Flat, fake handoff. Launches one to the end zone. Buckley's got it.
What a just athletic catch. Went up and had to get that. Really good coverage, actually, by the Panther DP. Couldn't tell who that was. And even maybe a touch underthrown, and Buckley went up, cradled over the top of the defender for Park Tudor to get that. And guess what? I think that's only his 4th catch, and 3 of them have been for touchdowns, and that one goes for 24 yards. So 3 scores tonight from Tony Flatt to Brock Buckley of 24, 25, and 42.
Wow.
To close this game to possibly one possession, Joey.
They're going to take – they're actually going to fake it. Here comes Flatt. He's going to dive for it, and he gets the 2-point conversion. 29-22. And all of a sudden, the Warriors of Covenant Christian have woken up in the 4th quarter. Let's get another look at that. Flatt keeps it himself on the rollout, Craig.
I'll tell you, too, that looked like that was by design, too. That wasn't a bad snap or anything. I mean, I think that was something I'll tell you, we got new life here for the Warriors here on 71st and College.
We sure do. Let's take a break before the next possession. You're watching Covenant Christian and Park Tudor on IndianaSRN.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. We all of a sudden have a crazy ball game on our hands, folks. A one-possession ball game, that is. Covenant Christian was down 29-7. They go down and score after a long toss from Tony Flatt to Brock Buckley, who was wide open in the end zone. They then get the ball back from Park Tudor. They punt. They get pinned deep, do nothing with it. and then Park Tudor turns the ball over. Here's Whitehead. Got some space. Whitehead's got more space. On the right side, Caden Whitehead is going to take this to the house. The 10-5 touchdown Panthers.
It could be the dagger, 85 yards. The young man has had him a ball game tonight, not only through the air, but from the backfield after CJ goes out, has had 2 interceptions, and now a touchdown kickoff return.
What a play. I mean, look at how this develops. Everybody and their brother for Covenant Christian bailed to one side to go get Caden Whitehead, and he found the one space where they weren't.
No, did a great job of change of direction and then hit the seam, and after that, it was the 85-yard dash right there.
Wow. And he caught that on the run, too, Craig. I think he had a full head of steam as he was going.
No, great pickup there. And I tell you, couldn't have come at a better time than what they needed after back-to-back scores by the Warriors after being down by 22, and to cut it to 8 and then answer it right away.
Right, we were just getting ready to talk about Brock Buckley's catches.
Absolutely.
And all of a sudden, Park Tudor answers. Well, they're going to go for 2 here. Gordon. Lofting one. That one's going to be out of bounds. Intended receiver was Perrine. We're going to take another break here. 35-22 our score. Park Tudor leads.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
Hey, never miss a game on YouTube or IndianaSRN.org. And if you did, the beauty of it all, Craig, is that you can go and look back at it again. Park Tudor leads 35-22. And the last time we came back from break, Covenant Christian had all the momentum in the world, but I mean, any air they had in that bag just got sucked away by Park Tudor's Caden Whitehead. He runs all the way to the house.
Yeah, being down by 22, and then Covenant goes on 2 scores, and then getting this back, and just the dynamics of how the games of any sport can change in the matter of not minutes or quarters, but even seconds. You know, the pace and the tide had certainly changed, certainly in the Warriors' hands, and you know, you get Harris just taking the wind out of the sail there.
Good boot here.
Well placed. Wow.
Very well placed. Left, deep left. Tyndall's going to try to make a man miss. And he does, actually. Tyndall's going to escape. And what looked like he was going to be brought down inside the 5, he gets past the 10-yard line. Great kick, though, by Harvey Lambert to get that one started.
He's a little wobbly getting up, too. But I don't know that you could put a kickoff any better than that. Almost was like a pitching wedge. The thing hit 2 hops and just stopped. I don't know how well you can put backspin on the pigskin.
I mean, if all our golf shots went that well, we wouldn't be in the booth, would we? We'd be
absolutely.
on the tour.
That thing died on the 2. Gavin did a great job just getting this ball out to the 10.
So a great kick by Lambert. Good return to make something out of nothing by Tyndall. Here's Flat, giving it to Neighbors. Neighbors still chugging along. He'll be brought down after a gain of 7.
7-yard gain to the 17-yard line. Brings up second down.
Neighbors has been solid, but for the most part, Park Tudor has been even more rugged in their rush defense.
Yeah, no, there's been no doubt. I mean, again, we've said it a few different times. They've done a really good job of containing John. And now they're empty backfield here, but yeah, done a great job against the run tonight. The Panthers have.
Flat, empty backfield. He will drop back. Lofting
Got
himself
him.
up for Buckley, who bobbles it to himself, and he's still got the catch. Brock Buckley's going to run.
He's going to go.
There he goes. Brock Buckley, one man to beat. And he will be brought down short of the goal line. That looks like at the 3. Call it the 4. What a play by Brock Buckley. What a throw by Tony Flat. Buckley is down. Yeah, that's
he might
Brock
just
Buckley.
get over those things where the coach comes over and says, "Coach, I'm okay. I just needed a breather. I need to stop the play."
Well, let's hope that's all it is. But what a play to get all the way down to the 4-yard line of Park Tudor, or 3-yard line rather.
Yeah, it was a 80-yard play there.
I can't believe the performance we're seeing out of Brock Buckley. That's his 4th catch, and the only one that's not for a touchdown.
Yeah, and I was getting ready to say, and 4th catch, and he's about 160 yards on receiving, so his average is going up. And we're talking about a kid that hasn't played football. The last time he played before this year was in middle school, people.
Jeez.
And he's a senior, so he's been out at least 5 years from playing football, and one that had to get his practices in because he was a late signee in terms of signing up to play, and had to get his 10 practices in and missed the first 2 games. So great connection that both he and Flat have had here as the Warriors try to pull back within 1 score here, under 5 to go.
His longest completion of the year was 60 yards, and now that one far exceeds that. There's Tony Flat, gives it to Neighbors. No, he doesn't. He fakes it out, and Tony Flat's into the end zone for a touchdown. And the Warriors are back within 1 score.
And here we are answering back and forth. I tell you, this this quarter, the last part of the third quarter and all this fourth has been pretty dynamic. Have these teams answering each other. And hats off to both these teams to where Covenant's coming back and Panthers aren't dropping their head and get quick scores. And you got never quit mentality by these Warriors. So give them credit for this as they try to pull back within 1 score.
Well, we saw some trickery the last time they came out for a PAT. You think we'll see it again? I mean, look at Park 2. They're playing
I think
it
they'll
safe
kick
here.
this because they're 7 down now. They'd only be 6 with this made. So if they can get a hold and a score, then an extra point can actually win the game for them.
Munoz kick is good, and our score is now 35-29, still in favor of Park Tudor. But Covenant Christian creeping along, and now it's just a 6-point ball game.
Had another game go final. Traders Point did hold on to win North Central Farmersburg, 26-22.
And Traders Point took the lead in the last minute, right?
They
That's what you
did.
said earlier.
Yeah, 30 seconds to go. Actually, Farmersburg scored with 1:08 to go, and then Traders Point scored 45 seconds later.
Crazy.
And held on. So a couple close ones tonight, but we've had a few that have been marginal victories as well. Greencastle loses tonight as well to Owen Valley, 38-10.
Well, 4:36 to go here. I mean, if you're Park Tudor, I mean, what else can you ask for? I mean, you have the kick return for a touchdown, and then you give another touchdown. It's a give and take right now in this fourth quarter, which is just crazy because at halftime, 21-7, you wouldn't have thought that it would be 35-29 with 4:30 to go.
No, you didn't. I mean, it was looking bleak for the Warriors being down 22, and since then it's changed dramatically, even for both teams. They've gotten stops, they've gotten scores. So great job by both these programs.
Back deep to return, Caden Whitehead. Lone man, he had an 85-yard run back the last time this kick return unit was out. And Munoz will try to boot this one deep, or he could possibly squib / onside, I suppose.
I'd look for him to probably kick this away with a lot of time left. But you're exactly right. Does a squib, tries to make somebody else handle it, and he's having trouble.
Somebody's got to get on that ball, and they do. I believe Park Tudor has it.
Yeah, I believe you're right, Joey. Looked like front of the up men ran backwards to get that one. Great strategy there by the Warriors, trying to put some guys that maybe don't normally have the ball in their hands on a return game to try to make something happen. And, the Panthers take over inside their own 20. So it's, I think that advantage here, potentially Covenant. We'll see what the Panthers have to do here. I really still, I think I said it a couple possessions ago, Joey, is I really like to see and look to think that the Panthers might try to work some of these flats, little screen passes, little outs, or even trying to get DJ out of the pocket to make something happen with his feet.
Well, we'll have to see. The last couple drives have stalled out for Park Tudor despite the score. Handoff is to Whitehead up the middle.
Nothing happening.
Do you think there's anything to do with the C.J. Thompson injury in the first half that maybe they're feeling like they're a little bit more limited? I mean, they haven't really shown that, but all of a sudden a couple of these drives have stalled out. Their go-to man is usually number 3.
Yeah, no, it's a great point. We talked about that at halftime, how we could see that his pads were off and he was done, and seeing how that might impact it. And it's a very good point that we're seeing some of that because the offense has been a little bit more stagnant than what we saw much of the first half and a little bit of the third.
Gordon, sprint out to his left, quick out to Jonathan Harris. Gets his jersey dragged, and he will be down just shy of the 25-yard line at the 24, and this will be 3rd down and medium for the Panthers.
Yeah, and, it's 3rd and very manageable, but I'll tell you, this is maybe the most critical play to this point of the game for both sides of the ball of these teams. Where if they can get a stop, Covenant's in great shape, but Panthers can still move a lot of clock with a first down.
3rd and 4. Gordon to the right side. That ball's incomplete. On the coverage was Tyndall, man of the hour, and it's 4th down.
I would be really shocked if they don't punt. Oh, here they come.
Covenant Christian was down by 21 to Heritage Christian 2 short weeks ago. They came all the way back, only lost by 1 score. And Coach Cottle told us that there's still a salty, bad taste in his mouth from being down by so much, but coming back and just falling short. Gotta imagine that a message to his team was, don't let that happen again.
Nice punt.
Great
here.
punt. Harvey Lambert, but it's taken by Tyndall. Makes a couple men miss, and this is a good return by Gavin Tyndall to the 39-yard line.
Yeah, they're already in. We got a penalty here, too. Couldn't really tell. There was some activity going on there. Both teams kind of pointed originally at each other, but starting out, at least now, before we know what the penalty is, starting out in great field position at the Panther 41.
Could possibly be
dead ball, personal.
Yep. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Covenant. And if you're the Warriors, that stinks because you draw yourself back after a 10-yard return by Gavin Tyndall. Go back 15.
Yeah, you're going back to your own 44-yard line. That's big. Still obviously 1st and 10, but it's more about field position at this point. Still got plenty of time. And I believe Covenant has 2 timeouts left, if I'm not mistaken. It'll be interesting here what type of pressure that they might show Tony Flatt here.
Lined up in the 3-3 stack. Flatt's going to give it. Neighbors up the middle. He's going to gain about 3 yards.
Good bruising run there. What's really hurt them a lot is Covenant getting vertical, not only with Buckley here that Flatt's been able to find, trying to see what type of pressure that they might put on Tony. And to this point, they've done a great job of keeping John Neighbors under wraps.
Right.
See what happens here.
Right. Single high safety. Going to give it to Neighbors again. Up the middle, and he's got a first down. 2:15 to go here.
Some nail biting going on here.
Yes. Covenant Christian is down by just one touchdown.
And might add, because they had the missed 2-point conversion Park Tudor did, they're only down 6. So an extra point would actually put them ahead.
Again, Neighbors, left side. He stopped. What a tackle.
Great job.
That was Caden Whitehead out there from the cornerback position, and Covenant Christian's going to take their first time out, or their second, rather.
Yeah,
we're going to take one with them. We'll be back.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a deer. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
Welcome back to Park Tudor School. Joey Lindstrom alongside Craig Cox. Covenant Christian takes their second timeout, and they're getting ready to go for a first down and 10 from the 46-yard line of Park Tudor. And the tension is building. Can you feel it? 1:52 to go. Covenant Christian needs a touchdown to tie and an extra point after the fact to take the lead.
Got him right there.
Offsides by Park Tudor.
A little hard count.
Yep, the hard count got Caleb Strong-Jones to jump off sides. Not what you need right now for Coach Somerville's squad. Ball at the 39.
You know, one thing we haven't seen much tonight is really Flat getting out of the pocket, making some things happen with his feet as much as we have in previous games. So we've got to keep an eye on that, see if we might see that package.
Well, he had the 4-yard touchdown last drive, but you're right. As far as open field, we haven't seen too much of him. Here's Tyndall. Tyndall's going to get out of bounds after a nice throw.
Down.
And he'll stop the clock. Great play. Got the first down, as you mentioned, Craig.
Yep.
And now from the 34, Covenant Christian driving. These are the kind of scenarios you dream up if you're a player. I mean, on both sides of the ball, too. I mean, obviously, if you're Park Tudor, you would rather have the ball in possession. But if you're a defensive player, you get a chance to make a stop. If you're Covenant Christian, you get a chance to make a memory of a lifetime. Give us to Neighbors, left side. Neighbors has some space. John Neighbors keeps the feet moving.
Inside the 15.
How do you do, John Neighbors? All the way down to the 13-yard line of Park Tudor.
Yeah, no, and one thing we talked about earlier, Joey, we said, hey, there's, you know, every game on your schedule you got to circle. You got to play them all, but there's 3 that Coach Cottle was talking about with Heritage, Christian, and Speedway. They lost those 2, and the third one was Park Tudor. And they've been down so much, and now they're pounding at the door right here to possibly tie it up with a potential go-ahead extra point for the lead.
Tony Flat. 2 receivers to his left, tight end.
Working clock.
Neighbors tries to bounce it. He'll be brought down.
It's like maybe a gain of 1.
Maybe a gain of 1, right. Under a minute to go here. Covenant Christian still has a timeout.
And you notice, too, on that last play, Flat let that play clock go down probably a good 8 to 10 seconds after he was ready to snap. These Panther players on the sideline are really barking at the student section to get on their feet, make some noise here.
As they should.
30 seconds to go.
Need all the juice you can get. Tony Flat, 30 seconds to go. Replogo in motion. Flat. Quick pass to Tyndall. That one falls incomplete. Not the worst thing, though, if you're Covenant Christian.
No, clock stops. You still got 2 downs. It's obviously 4-down territory. And the thing about it, too, is, Joey, I mean, they can still get a first down inside the 5. So you don't actually have to necessarily score with a timeout to go. If not, it's about maybe getting a new set of downs inside the 5.
Exactly. Third and 10.
Sports is all about, right here.
That's right. Friday Night Lights, nothing like it. 13-yard line.
Oh, he jumped.
False start on Covenant Christian. Wyatt Bowman, the guilty party. Unfortunately for the Warriors, they'll be pushed back 5 yards. It's going to be 3rd and 15 from the 18.
Well, with only 1 timeout and being this far back, you know, you're probably thinking that they're going to be passing and thinking if it's a short yard, then maybe use a run with a timeout. Be looking to maybe get a play action or getting flat out of the gap here. Probably prime target of Buckley.
3rd and 15, and they're going to get it again. False start on Covenant Christian once again. Man, got to sit in there if you're the offensive lineman. That's 2 in a row, and now it's going to be 3rd and 20. Park Tudor has to hold here. 2 more downs. 22 seconds to go.
This ball's going the wrong way for the Warrior offense right now, but again, fair amount of time, a lot more time than what people might give it with 1 timeout, and still can get a first down here.
Flat over the head of his receiver, Replogle.
Certainly would. I'm sure Tony would like to have that one back. Now, you're sitting back here. It's all about keeping them totally underneath you and not letting anybody get vertical. You'd like to think that he's going to be looking at Buckley, but Tyndall's been very elusive tonight, and Replogle has been there too.
I mean, it's got to... I don't know. Maybe because of the trend. I mean, 3 of his 4 catches today have been touchdowns.
Yep.
Buckley's got to be the guy, right? And if you're Park Tudor, I think you realize that. And I think Coach Somerville probably plans for it too, as well. But at the same time, Hail Marys usually have 3 receivers or more in the end zone. And this one, he's not going to have to launch it, but he's going to have to be relatively in the red end zone, right?
Well, and normally they're playing a 4-3. You might see a 2-9 here.
Right. Possible that we see a hook and ladder here as well?
I was just thinking the same. Give them a little taste of their own medicine, but who knows whether it's not, it's their playbook. If it's not, certainly wouldn't think. But I would probably think that they're going to have a three-man front here. Yep, and they are. They're running a 3-3-5 here.
I think that's smart if you're Park Tudor.
Yep, and interesting enough, Buckley's out here kind of on an island, which is interesting that they're not sending 2 guys on him.
Agree. They have 4 receivers to the left, 1 man in motion. That's Tyndall. Tony Flat.
He's going up at him.
He's going to go to Buckley.
It's out of bounds.
That one's out of bounds. And that was 4th down. That's a turnover for Park Tudor. And a kneel down will do it. The Panthers will be victorious. They hold the line. Turnover on downs. Wow. What a game we've seen today.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, both these teams deserve a lot of credit because either of them, even when the tide started turning, Park Tudor didn't drop the heads and turn, and certainly Covenant, give them credit, having to play from behind, had a great valiant effort in terms of fighting back and showing great will and desire to keep competing.
They get within 1 score after being down 22. It was 29-22. Park Tudor gets the long kick return for a touchdown to make it 35-22, and then huge play down to Buckley, followed by a 4-yard rush into the end zone by Tony Flat. Clock will run out, and that will do it. Park Tudor holds on, 35-29. Park Tudor will move on to 6-2 to play Edinburgh next week. Covenant Christian will fall to 5-3, and they will play Purdue Poly next week. Selection show coming up soon this weekend, and this sectional pairing ought to be interesting because these two teams could meet again, Craig, and that's the craziest part of all this.
Yeah, and with teams not being seeded, it's anybody can play anybody in that first game. So sometimes you can have your two favorites playing in that first round too. So we're in a position where both these teams competed great. There's good things ahead for them. As we talked about the remaining schedule with both these teams in their last week, you kind of think that both these teams will get a win heading in to sectional. And then it's about just playing for that one game at a time.
For Ken Thomas, our cameraman, for Casey Pierce, our producer, for Craig Cox, our wonderful analyst, my name is Joey Lindstrom. Thank you so much for being with us. This has been a presentation of IHSAA football on IndianaSRN. Have a great night, everyone.
That was fun, man. That was great. Yep.